Hey guys, what's up? So I have a video to do on I don't know, masculine girls, masculine feminines, or yeah, masculine feminines, like women that are too masculine. Okay. So I watch a lot of stuff on guys, like men, like how they operate and how they think and how society, like men privilege. I used to study um, like in the past. But there's like these podcast people, and I think they're called whatever clips or something. And it's a women. Now it doesn't. You have women on there that I guess are respectable. We'll say that. And I'm not saying that if you're on an OnlyFans account that you're not a respected woman, like you're like a slut, like you're a whore, like, you know, you're whatever. But when you're going to a podcast, and I mean, they know that they're getting taped, you know what I mean? But you look like a porn star and you're there to debate with men about how women are, or how if you have the mindset of selling your body for money, whether it's sex or just like, I mean, I don't really know what else could be like for sex, but you know what I mean? Like, so they have a lot of things like that. So, and I've studied men things in the past. And I'm going to say right now, up until now, I have been a masculine. Well, not completely there yet, but I have been a masculine feminine. Like I I have balanced out my feminine and masculine energies very well. Like I'm not one more than the other, but if I was to say I acted more like one of them, it would be a masculine. And the only reason why though is because I have to be. So it might look like, you know, to guys or whatever, if they know me on a certain level, like surface level, you wouldn't really be able to know to the extent. But if you've ever like been in like a relationship with me, I mean, every relationship I've had, I had to be the masculine. I had no other choice, which is why I am the way I am, because the person that I had to be, I was in a 13-year relationship with my son's father, and I had to be the masculine. Like I always have had to be the masculine. I've never met a guy that was masculine enough to take care of me, or for me to feel safe enough to trust to take care of me in a way where if I didn't want to work, I didn't have to, and I didn't have to worry about it. I mean, I wouldn't give up those ways of me no matter what, because I like to work, like, but I like to do my own work. Like I won't do a 9 to 5 job. I can't, like, as a light worker as well, like you can't, like you just can't, like you just can't. But this is crazy. Like I'm not on Social Security, but because my mom works for Social Security, I know things that you can have problems with in order to be on Social Security, and one of them is not being good with authority. Like, so anybody can be like, well, I don't like people telling me what to do, so I need Social Security. It's not all that, but whatever. But so I was the provider, I was the masculine, I was the tougher one. He was just an idiot. Like it wasn't like he was even tough. He was just a dumb masculine. Like I was like the known one. Like I was the provider. Again, I was the one that worked. I'm the one that created my business and let him fuck it up. Like see how I said let, by the way. I didn't say he fucked it up. I said I let him. Just want to point that out. Okay. Anyways, whatever. I had to be the father for our child his whole life. So I've been in a masculine father role and have known nothing else. And before that, I was, but my mother made me codependent on her because her trigger is she needs to feel needed. And at the same time, like, it came with pretty much still treating me like a kid when I had my own kid that I was raising on my own, and I'm almost 40. So I was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. So I became very, very, very independent on top of being a masculine feminine. Okay. Now, I had this so planned in my head so well. And this is why I did it. So, what I want to say is they talk about with these women say how, you know, I don't know, it's like they can't really say that they don't need a man because they're selling their body for money to men. So they do need men in order to make money. And then they're like, it doesn't matter if you need a man as in like a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything, like girlfriend, as a boyfriend or whatever. It means you can't do your job without men, you know? And then like it brings shit into perspective, okay? Because it's like, okay, so there was this one, right? And you're a stay-at-home mom, right? And your husband does like labor work. The example was like he was a brick setter, you know, and so he had to like go like to school for 7 years to know how to do it, and now he's finally doing it, you know. And you're a stay-at-home mom, and for whatever reason, you know, the man comes home and gets bitched at for whatever, and you know, the women, the mother, whatever, she's like, you don't know what I do so much and you don't appreciate it and it's disrespectful, da da da. Now this is one, oh, it was, that's right, this is one of the OnlyFans girls saying this, okay? And you know, obviously if you're a stay-at-home mom, like, and you're doing OnlyFans, I don't know, the reason why I can't do OnlyFans is because, one, I have respect for myself. 2, my body is a temple. 3, that is not what a job should be. 4, if my kid ever saw me naked on the internet or any of his friends, it'd be a wrap. It'd be a wrap. Like, it would ruin our relationship, and his friends would, I mean, I don't think his friends would, but like, I don't think he wants his friends seeing his mother, you know, doing certain things. He won't even let me have my radio loud when we go to school because he doesn't want to draw attention to me, because he knows that I'm hot, and he is told that by guys in his school. So he doesn't want anything to be drawn attention. He doesn't want to like see one of his friends see me, and then like him get out of the car and then be like, oh, so I saw your mom. You know what I mean? Like, no. So like, to that extent, like, we've had a conversation before, and I wasn't even saying anything, it was him. And I think I was telling him how somebody I knew was a stripper now or something. I don't think she is anymore. But it doesn't matter either way. And he goes, you know, if you were a stripper, you'd make a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Dawson. And he's like, but you're not allowed to. I'm just like, yes, I know, Dawson. So these women are trying to stick up for themselves in any way possible, and the men shut them down. But, I mean, yes, they're being assholes sometimes, but they're correct in what they're saying. So, you know, it's different if you have a shit guy in your life like I did for my whole entire life, like when it came to relationships, especially the 13-year one, and I still know him for 16 years, and he's still a shithead. I shouldn't say that. I don't judge people, so when I say stuff like that, it sounds like I'm judging them, but it's like, it just is what it is. Like, can't call a duck a fucking pigeon. I don't know. But anyways, so they're saying like, you come home after like a long ass day of like, cementing brick and building buildings and all this stuff, and you have her nagging, and it's not in a nagging where she like cares and she's trying to like make you be a better man. It's her nagging about bitching about her day and how you're being disrespectful because maybe you like didn't call her or something. You're being disrespectful. She's trying to make a home. No, she didn't say that yet. Blah blah blah. And he's like, so I do all, and they're like, you don't work, you don't know what I do here. I work so hard, da da da. But he said something exactly, but the main point was like, he does work as hard as you and harder. Like you're not at work fucking cementing brick. You're at home in a nice area, being able to be with your child, being like, you don't think that he would rather switch roles with you? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so I've learned, what was it I said the other day on Facebook? It was, you can either be a wife or the knife or something, or bring a man back to life with strife or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's true. You can either, a woman is supposed to be like the rib, the other rib. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be your man's backbone. You're supposed to have his back. You're supposed to trust in him. Like, you're supposed to let him be the man. A man provides. A man is authority. A man is, whatever. So it's like, in society, women feel like they have to be the boss. They, like, the boss bitch, like the boss provider, they have to be the career woman. They have to do this, that, and the other. So in society now, men are being, and it's purposely done by like the government or the people behind everything that nobody sees, behind the scenes fucking everything up. But women get paid more for things now, more than men, purposely to make men feel less than. It's men privilege or something like that. Like where, they want men to be fat. They want men to be insecure. They want men to make less money than women. So they like back down. They become pussies pretty much, And it's like, you don't have many men. They're men. Like, there will be something that will diminish them from looking like a man no matter what. Like, there'll be something. Like, if you beat your wife or whatever, or your girlfriend, it's like, that takes, so it doesn't matter if you're a fucking provider. You still look like a bitch. You still look like a pussy, because if you feel like you have to beat her for whatever reason, you still look like a fucking pussy. And it's like, if you feel like you have to degrade a woman to feel better about yourself, you're a fucking pussy. Like, no, like, I'm not going to stick up for men saying it's okay to beat women, but it's like, the woman has to be in her place as well. So it's like, I feel like, society, don't kick me. I feel like society just is fucked. I mean, it is. But like, when it comes to like men and women, so, women are like, oh, I don't need him. I don't need a man. But like, you do. You do. There can't be just men on this earth, and there can't just be women. Like, no. Like, you just can't. You need one another. Like, you do. So, because I've had to be a man, the father, the provider, the household runner, like everything that a man does and everything that a woman does, everything that a father does, and everything that a mother does, okay? And you can say up and down that a woman cannot be a father, especially a son. That is not true. Yes, I cannot be a father as in like me having a dick and me literally being a man, but men aren't even men. Like, I still have bigger balls than most men in the world. And that's not technically all their fault, but I mean, you do make your own decisions at the same time, but people aren't strong enough sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, they just aren't. Like, they either can't make their own decisions or they go the wrong way of influence. Like, You know what I mean? So it's like, you also like gotta let a man be a man. You gotta let a man learn on his own to be a man. You can't be one of those women that want to do everything for them. They need to learn. You need to let a man be a man. You know what I mean? And I've learned this. Like, you know, you can't be like, oh, I'm a stay at home mom. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they're doing this, that, and the other. And you're like, you're disrespecting me. I'm sorry, didn't he not just work his ass off all fucking day to provide? Like, it was funny because she's like, well, it's disrespectful when I'm home making him a home. And they're like, no, he's making you a home. Like, at the end of the day, yes, you could be the cooker, you could be this and that in the household and like decorate your house and like bring the love and warmth in it. But one, you're not bringing love and warmth in it as the mother, feminine, wife, whatever, girlfriend, if you're bitching as soon as he gets home. Because then that ruins all the love, peace, and harmony in your house. But at the same time, like if you're a stay at home mom, he is still making it a household. He's providing for the bills. He's doing this. And it's like he's paying for everything in the house. So you can't say that you're the one that, yeah, you might be making it a home in like a homey, like lived in area. But if you didn't have him to be working and you to be able to be a stay at home mom and still be able to take care of your kid in a comfort or even middle class, you know, whatever society nowadays and like household, he's the one providing for you to have all of that. He's the one providing for you to cook dinner. He's the one providing for you to decorate the house. He's the one with the money. And I'm not saying that that's okay. I'm not saying that women should not do fucking nothing because I would never be like that. I can't. I mean, I could, but who wants to do that? Like, even people that like, you know, are stay-at-home moms and they've had to do it for 18 years until they go off to college. Like, eventually, like, sometimes they like to start working, you know? And that could be a threat to your husband or your boyfriend or whatever. And it's like, it shouldn't be, though, because you guys are equals. You guys are each other's support. You guys are each other's, like, support system. Like, you know, it's equal give and take. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I was a stay-at-home mom, which I am, but I still have my own shit, and I let a man provide for me completely, I would cater to him more because he works so hard for me and our kids and everything that we have. Like, as long as you're not a dick, you know what I mean, and you beat me and like this and that, like, if you come home, like, you should be taken care of in a way of praise, in a way of appreciation, in a way of being grateful that you have him. So it's like, I've done a video on this before. If you've never been with a toxic person, like, or, you know, you've been married to somebody for 20 years and they're not very toxic, but like you had toxic relationships, but not for like that long before. I'm not going to take away what you went through, but I told a man before that he was a good man. And he is. He's fucking amazing. It's my kid's soccer coach. I mean, he's been doing it with them for 10 years. He's never given up on them. He's a family man. He's such a good man. Such a good man, right? And I said that to him, and I knew right before I said it he was going to feel uncomfortable, but I didn't fucking care. Because men should, you know, whatever, they should be told that if they are. If you are, you should be told. Like, so for you to feel weird for a woman to say that to you, that probably most likely means that you're not hearing it enough from your own woman. Because why would you feel weird? It doesn't matter if it's a woman or not. Like, if you already know that you are because your wife is telling you, then you shouldn't feel uncomfortable, no matter if it's a woman or a man telling you that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, she doesn't tell him. And it's not her fault, but she doesn't know because she's never had a toxic relationship. So she doesn't know how good she really has it. So from somebody from my perspective, if I had a man that was taking care of me, taking care of the household, providing, you know, this, that, and the other, I would cater to him. in like a not like a degrading way where it's like he expects me to do it, or like, if he expects me to do this and that and the other. Like, he still lets me have my freedom. He still lets me have my independence and doesn't try to take it away from me. Like, I would reciprocate reciprocate that energy back to him as gratitude, because you're gratitude. You have gratitude for me. So, and you don't bitch about what you know what I mean? Like, you don't, whatever. So why am I not going to show you, like, thanks for, if I couldn't be independent, if I couldn't rely on him, I wouldn't be able to be as independent in a certain type of way. I can still have my own thoughts and my own whatever. So I had to surrender recently to my masculinity. And it's not easy when you've been forced to have to be the one. Like, not even wanting to, like, being forced to have to. You're not used to anything else. So he didn't understand that. I don't think he understood how serious it was. He just looked at me probably like, she's complicated. And it's true. I mean, it is, but there's reason behind it. I don't just try to cause problems. I don't just, do this and that and the other because I want to be a bitch, or I just want to go against you, or this, that, and the other. Like, no, it's because I don't know any other way to be. I don't know how to be I've learned how to be more like a girl and have emotions and, whatever. But that happened over years. That wasn't just like, okay, I'm a girly now. I will never be girly. I will never. Like, I will still want to do guy things. Like, I'm not going to be a pretty princess. And even if I am, I'm still going to have that knight in me. Not the king, but the knight. You know what I mean? And the knight also has the back of the king. So either way, I can be a knight and still back up my man and let him fucking be the king. Anyways, so I've learned a lot watching things about guys, watching that whatever clips thing, because these women, I don't know. I don't know. So I like watching Candace Lewis too. Is that her name? Candace Lewis, the black woman. She's very, like, people don't like her because she's smart, pretty much, and she'll call you out on your shit. That's how I am. But in an intelligent way, not a putting you down way. It will be like, no, you're wrong. Like, this is, or if somebody's doing something wrong, as in the way you're treating me, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to just let you do it, And guys don't like that. And girls don't like that. But I'm talking more about guys. So it's like, oh my God, my back. Sorry. My back is like fucking ridiculous. But what was it? There's been two women that I've seen, Teal Swan and Candace, whatever. And they say, the thing that fucks up kids the most is not having a father. So that's understandable. But when the guys on the whatever clips say you're a bad mom or something like that, I don't think they actually said that. They were saying just like a woman can't. They weren't okay or whatever. Like, it wasn't okay for them to be a single parent and be a single mother. And it's like, but sometimes you're forced. And that's what pissed me off about them. They don't understand. You don't understand. And there are women out there that can be a man, a father, and mother to the most extent of what you can do that men can't. Like, you obviously can't be the role model of what the man is. You know what I mean? Because you're not the man to be able to be the role model of one. But the other Teal Swan one was like, what's the worst thing you could do as a mom or something? And she was pretty much saying you're a shit mom if you don't have a man. Excuse me? Do you want me to fucking come out and show you my manly side and beat your fucking ass? Like, no. And these people are like saying that they don't judge people. How are you going to sit there and say that you're a shit mom if you stay single? I'm sorry, would you rather my kid be around toxicity? And it's like, I understand what you're saying to a certain extent, but like, if you've never been in a position to understand what you're saying right now, then don't fucking say it. Because if you've never been with a toxic man, you don't understand. And if you've never healed enough to say, okay, I'm not going to date anybody until I find a good man for my child, how is that being a bad mother? How is that you fucking your kid up the most? Out of anything that can be fucked up, you being a single mother and not having a man around as whatever. I'm sorry, my kid's fucking amazing, and I'm the only one that raised him. His father, only thing he's done for him is taught him to tie his shoes and traumatize him. And teach him what not to do and what to do. What's wrong, what's right. That's huge, but the way he learned it shouldn't have been the way he had to learn it in order to fucking learn it, but at least he did, okay? But I also taught him, don't do this, don't do that, because of like integrity, and this will fuck up your life, this will fuck up your life. But his dad doing drugs already showed him that. But like, one of his goals when he was little, I remember he was like, one of his goals, he's like, you know what I want to be when I grow up? And I was like, what? He's like, a good dad. He's like, that's one of my things, like a goal for me to be is a good dad. Like, besides being a professional soccer player, like stuff like that. Like, I want to be a good dad. Like, that's a goal. And I was like, that's awesome, So you're not going to sit there and fucking tell me as a single mom that you're a piece, like, you're ruining your kid. That's the number one thing that's going to ruin your kid. And it's like, okay, so it's not going to ruin my kid if I keep the father around and let him destroy my kid, because pretty sure that's worse, especially when you've done it for 13 years and the father just gets worse, or the father does not care, or the father doesn't try to change. So something has to change. And if you have to take it into your own hands and change it by having him leave, sorry, I think that's a better choice for the child. And then if you make the healthy decision as the mother, saying, I'm not going to be with somebody that's not good for my kid to be around, and you don't know how to go about it, but you've never done it before, so it's like, whatever. So instead, I focus on myself, because I know whatever I am, I will attract. So I don't chase, I attract. So it's like, whatever I want out of life, I need to be it in order for it to come to me, because that's how law of attraction is. So I'm not going to date. I'm not going to, whatever. So I've also thought to myself, okay, well, I can't not be feminine and, attract a man that's going to share his emotions, or, whatever. I can't be untrusting of a man to take care of me or whatever. In order for a man to trust me to be able to open up, I can't rebel like it's my father and, be like, you're not telling me what to do, and then like doing what I want. And like, you can't do certain things in order to have a good role model for your kid. Like, you have to do certain things too in order to attract what it is that's good for your kid. Now, I will say that and I have to do a separate video on this, because it's not being said enough, okay? The world is being forced in a way for you not to be with your kid's father. Most people, if you're on welfare or you're getting assistance, cash assistance in any way, They will tell you to not marry the father and not have the father involved or whatever, because then you can't get the money. So it's like they're purposely doing this to break up homes. They're purposely doing this so the child doesn't have their father around. So then they grow up with abandonment issue. Like, no, think about it. Think about it. Look at the statistics. It's not being talked about enough. It's not because they don't want it to be. But you're going to sit there and say about the good mothers that can do it without a fucking father and are forced to, have no other choice. You do have a choice, you know, leave the father if they're not good for your child. And then work on yourself and don't just replace them because you don't want to be lonely. No, why the fuck did you kick the father out and just bring a fucking stranger? No. Like I told people before, I was like, you're not gonna fuck my kid up. The only man that's gonna fuck my kid up is his father. No, you're not bringing trauma to my child. And that is what a good mother does. They don't just have a man around so the child has a man. Okay, we're done talking about that. So I have to learn to be a girl more, because I feel like there was way more that I thought in my head for this to actually be a different kind of outcome. So I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to wait and see if other things come up, because I feel like there was more. I don't feel like I'm getting my point. I'm getting my point across, but I'm not getting my point across the way I wanted to. So you just, there's one thing. Okay, so if you're an alpha female, Sigma-ly, like you're a Sigma female, but you're very masculine with it more than you are feminine or balanced, divine masculine, feminine and masculinity energies within you, that's who I was or am, or no, I'm just a Sigma female now. But Sigma females, that's the thing, they're intelligent. They don't go with the crowd. They're different. They will stick up for their values, their moral. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can still be feminine, but still have my own independency, where you're not going to fucking be a man who's going to tell me what the fuck to do. I don't back down. I won't let you tell me what the fuck to do. I won't back down to you. I will not submit to you. I will not. No. And that has been a problem for me to find a healthy relationship. And that's when it's like, okay, this man wants to take care of you. They want to provide. And it's like, you don't trust them to be able to do it. So when I met this person, I don't know if I'm going to put this on the other thing, but when I met Danny, he's a provider. And we were both toxic, obviously. I think we weren't as toxic as we looked like we were, but us together and the way we were made it look like we were way more toxic than we actually really were. And we didn't understand each other to a certain extent, or learn how to a certain extent, where you would see that later on. But he's an alpha male. But he's not. He will act like one, but he's not. But when it comes to certain things, he is. Okay? So I can say I was an alpha male, so we butt heads so bad. Because he would tell me he's controlling. But at the same time, he's controlling in a way where it's out of fear, but it's out of fear of the unknown. But at the same time, it's like he's controlling things to make things happen so he can provide, so he can know what's going to happen next, so shit doesn't hit the fan, so it's out of control for him. Like, it's not in like a manipulate. I mean, it could be, but it can also look like it's being manipulating by the way he does things, but he's not. Like, we all have narcissistic like qualities in us. It's just the way you use it, or it's the way if you're aware of it or not. Okay? So I think he just came off to look like something else because he's been single for so long. He hasn't had to think about being any different, you know? And I was the same way. I didn't have to think about trusting a guy to help me and be there for me and be a good guy. So I just automatically thought he was just like all the rest of them. But I didn't know he had a good work ethic. And like, I would have never done this to him. But like, I was like, I'm gonna make you lose your job. I would have never have done that to him. But he doesn't know that. Like, we didn't just me, but we had just met. Like, like you, whatever. And he was like, oh yeah. And he's like he was worried about it because he thought I was actually gonna do it, I guess. And he's like, how am I gonna take care of my family? How am I gonna do this? Like, he cares about that. Like, if you don't care about it, you don't even strive to do it. But like, for him to even say that, it proves something. It proves that he actually has a goal to take care and be a provider. So he does work. I think he works too much to be able to have a relationship or a steady, healthy one where he's home enough for him not to get bitched at for working too much. That's besides the point. Um, because I also remember I'd want to spend more time with him, and he'd be like, you're like all the rest of them. Like, you got to bitch about that too. And it's like, why? Because I love you and I want to spend time with you. Okay, like, but it's the other relationships that you've had that you go by when you see these characteristics in another person and they're doing like the same thing, but they could be doing it for a totally different reason. Who knows? But so I believe he's a Sigma female, a female man. I the other day was thinking about, okay, if there's a Sigma female, then what the fuck is a Sigma man like? And I haven't looked it up yet. But knowing how a Sigma female is, you can tell that he would be, because a Sigma alpha feminine is, she has to be seen. She has to like be out in the world and, what is it, extrovert. If you're out like more, you have to like, you're more like, whatever. But a beta is one that needs validation. They're more quiet. A Sigma, they don't give a fuck. They don't need validation. They don't need to be seen. They don't need recognition. They don't follow the crowd. Like, they have their own values. They have their own morals, and that's what they live by. Like, they're different. They're supposedly the most intimidating, wow, woman and scariest and rarest that you can find because they don't follow the crowd. They're unpredictable. They could be like one way, a next, and another, and next, out of growth, not out of mood swings or like shit like that. Growth. So they could be this person, and then all of a sudden they're like this different person in like a day. It's true. It can happen because I've done it. I said that to Danny, actually. I was like, you never know who I'm going to be. I'm very unpredictable. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, yeah, because that's why I scare you. That's why you wouldn't commit to me. I know that's another reason. But if you also are being a masculine female, like at the same time as being a Sigma and an alpha, like that looks even worse of an unpredictability. So it's like, I think that he's like the alpha Sigma. But I don't feel like he is, and I don't feel like I am. I think those are just defense mechanisms. But yeah. So that is my more dominant quality as being a female, is I'm more like a male. But I've softened. And this guy, he has softened me so much. Because I can't be mean to him. He's a fucking animal. I mean, I'm not mean to animals. I'm not mean to my kid. But like, it's different. But like over the years too, like I've softened up from being a mother. But my kid was also younger. So I still had to be that man because he needed to grow up with a man. So somebody had to do it. You know what I mean? So he's normal, like he would have if he was brought up by a good man in certain ways. The best of any kid could be. Let's just say that. Um, but that, I didn't like that when they were like, the worst thing you can do as a mother is be single and not have a father figure. Bitch, what? So stupid. So you expect me to get out of a toxic relationship for my child, heal, focus on myself as a single mother with no male, and that makes me the worst mother ever. And I don't like how the men said the same thing. So I don't agree with either fucking one at all. I do agree with the whole, like, if you're on a cash assistance, they tell you pretty much not to be with the father, not to be married to the father, to kick them out of your life pretty much, just for money. I told Danny this before. I was like, I would rather be madly in love with my person, homeless, than be rich with the wrong one and not be happy. So I'm sorry, but if I want peace and harmony and love in my life, I'm gonna be a single mom until that fucking happens. Until I find that in somebody else. But I have to be it within myself first in order to attract it. So that's why you focus on yourself. You're not gonna get what you want if you're not it. So I need to be more feminine, so I attract somebody that's more feminine. And they're not in an alpha role like I am. And obviously it comes from, being a kid, daddy issues, like, you're not going to tell me what to do. You're not my dad. But you'll call him daddy in bed, right? Oh, man. I'm funny. I think that's it. I think I might have gotten my points across, but I don't feel like it's just way too long of a fucking video. That's what it is, I just have to be more of a girl. Like, I remember my friend, she was pregnant, and she was kind of like the same as me. And she was like, I'm not going to be strict, but I'm not going to, like, really, she's going to love them, but, like, I don't know. She thought she was going to be, like, this strict mother that wasn't going to be, like, a certain type of way. And I'm like, okay. I thought the same fucking thing, but not the way she did. After she had the baby, she had twin boys, identical. They're my godchildren. They're my god boys, my godsons, whatever. And I remember it was like the second day, third day, or she was in the hospital still. She calls me. And I'm like, what's up? She goes, you were right. I didn't even have to ask her, what do you mean? What was I right about? I already knew, like, right away. I was like, I told you. But it's not bad. It's fucking good, But becoming a mom, like, it softens you up. But it could also harden you up too. Because if you have a toxic father, you have to step up. You have to step up to the plate. So I told Danny, I was like, I'm not going to be more submissive to you. I'm not going to trust you with providing and this and that, and calm down about it and let you lead, when if you're not going to, I can't back down. Like, you need to understand that, like, either you let me be soft and me be able to trust you and whatever, or you have to not be with me. And because I need to still stay in that role as a man. I can't soften up, get fucking hurt, and then build up my masculinity again. I don't know. I guess it doesn't have to be that way, but, like, that's the only way I know. Like, who provides? A man. That's how it's supposed to be, at least. Like, and I don't mean it in a stereotypical, like, fucking, like, oh, this is what a man does and this is what a woman. No, that's what they want to do. Like, that's how you know they love you, is when they want to take care of you. Like, If they don't love you and don't want to be good for you, they wouldn't give a fuck. They'd care about themselves. Like, you know what I mean? I also saw something the other day I wanted to do a video about. And what was it? Men love, I don't know, it was some way. Like, men actually love women more than women love men. Because men look at their women, their girl, you know, as their daughter, whether they realize it or not. What does a father do? They protect their children. So if you have a girl, you treat her like that, in that fatherly, protective, way. When you have a woman, what was it? Oh, I forgot. I think I was thinking when they were saying it, like, well, when they're a woman, like, you, what was it? Like, they look at it as, like, a parent, and, like, you know that you're going to lose your parent one day, so it's not as important or something. And it's like, so what hurts more? And what do you love more, your parents or your children? So if you would do everything you could for your kid, so like a man does that with a woman. Like, they actually love a woman more than you love them. So that's why it's so much harder to, like, let themselves, I'm gonna have to watch that again. That was fucking, like when he said it, I was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes fucking sense. Like, it does. But you have to find that kind of man that wants to take care of you. That's what it is. Like, women can get offended by that. And I had to learn, like, I'm not offended by it. I'm scared of it. Because I'm not used to it. And I don't trust anybody to do it. Because I've always had to do it. And every time I would let him back in and he'd get a job, like, I was like, all right, I still did it, but, like, it was because I had to be able to trust him. What you saying the other day? Well, it wasn't the other day, but it was like he was doing good for, like, a month. Like, he had a job or whatever. And he's like, oh, I make enough where, like, you should get off child support. And I was like, you don't pay child support anyways. It's just building up. You have to pay $80 a month, like $20 a week. That's what it is. It's like, and you don't pay that. And he's like, yeah, but I have a job now. As soon as you get triggered, you're going to have money now. So you're just going to go get high. Like, you're going to have money. It's not like you're going to be broke. You're going to have money. So as soon as you get triggered, which I think actually happened, I think I triggered him into him knowing, like, she's not going to be with me ever again. Like, she wants nothing to do with me. Completely nothing to do with me. And then his kid doesn't want anything to do with him because all of a sudden he catches him stealing change from his piggy bank. And if he went stoop that low, you gotta be fucking getting high again. And it was like a month. It was like Thanksgiving to Christmas. I'm sorry, what? What? That is not a man that wants to take care of you and provide. Or for your kid. So that's what I've always been used to. So it's not easy for me to trust somebody to actually be able to do it like I would be able to, or better. And I've been successful with it. So it's like, don't fucking soften me and make me think that I can trust you for me to be let down, or me to be able to not be able to trust you because you're not trustworthy of what you say, and then me have to do it all over again into that power. I'm not going to let somebody take away my power no matter what, but it's going to be in a more softening way. And I'm not going to fight with you about it and feel offended. I'm going to talk to you about it and tell you what's up. Like, I don't know. It's just different. And it is a little nerve-wracking. It is. But if you want something like that, and it's healthier, because you can't demasculinize your man, because then they're not going to feel like a man, and then they're not going to be able to be a man for you. And that's what boss career women do. If they make more money than you, if they make, like, it's not, it will be, but it won't. Like, I know how to do everything on my fucking own, except for, like, with cars. Like, I know how to fix everything. Like, if it's an electronical thing, I didn't know how to do it. My kid's always like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just know how to do it. Like, I don't need you to open a fucking can for me or a jar. I'm strong enough. I'm not a fucking little bit. I'm not saying that women that can't do it and need help are little bitches, but I'm fucking wicked strong. I might not look like it, but I really am. Like, I can carry fucking, I have like 2-3 doors that I have to go in to get to my apartment. The third door is my apartment door. I'm just thinking about everything I've ever done. But there was one time, 2 times, I carried a 324 pack of waters, and I had like the little Kool-Aid thing like on the top. I did by myself. And I don't even think I had to put it down once. Because it's like, once you put it down, then it might be harder. So I just didn't. And I use my feet. I like kick doors, and if I'm carrying shit, I can, or I'll like use my feet to like open the handle, and then I hurry up and kick it, and then I run out. It's just, you learn how to, you just learn because you have to. There's no fucking other way to do it. I even have to like put in a code to get into my first door. I don't know. So it's like, I would definitely do like the electronic stuff. I wouldn't ask for help unless I really didn't need help, because I know I can do it, and I don't want it getting fucked up. If you ask somebody that just to make them feel like a masculine, like, no, I'm not going to do that because I know how to do it. If I need help carrying shit, I will ask for help, and I will let you help me with that. If I can't open a jar, obviously I'm going to ask you. Even if I can open a jar, I'll ask you, so you feel like, you need to let them feel like they're they're your superhero, like they're your Superman. Like, they'll save you, they'll come to the rescue if you need it. Like, they need to feel that way. So you need to let them, because if you don't, then they're going to be less of a man, or they're going to feel less of a man, and they're not going to do the man things that you expect them to do when you're fucking demasculine. Why can't I say it? Demasculizing them, demasculinating them, whatever. But I might have to do this over again. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to say. All right, bye guys. I keep doing it. I can't fucking like just do it. Bye.